We turn now to the Middle East, and the U.S. is urging Israel and Hamas to accept a three-phase ceasefire plan, which is backed by the UN. The U.S. drafted plan would begin with a 6-week ceasefire, include the release of all American hostages. The second phase would include the release of the remaining living hostages, as well as the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. The last phase would begin the major rebuilding of Gaza, which is expected to take decades. The U.S. proposal comes as Congress is bracing for boycotts and objections when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addresses Congress. That is set for later this month. NewsNation's Robert Sherman is live in Washington, D.C. So, Robert, how are Israel and Hamas responding to this proposal?
Well, they are talking, which is significant here, Nichole. You are starting to see those conversations continuing on through the mediating parties as the United States is upping their push to lead the war in Gaza to a conclusion. President Biden calling on both Israel and Hamas to find a way to get this done. The president sitting down with Time magazine and was asked about whether or not he believes Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is prolonging the war for his own political purposes, saying, quote, "There is every reason for people to draw that conclusion." That is an interview out today that has been making waves here. But the prime minister continues to remain insistent that Israel must achieve its goals in the war.
We are working in countless ways to return our hostages. I think about them all the time. I think about them all the time, about their families and about their suffering. Therefore, we've gone the extra mile to bring them back. But during this action, we've maintained the goals of the war, primarily the elimination of Hamas. We insist that we complete both.
It's no mystery that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Biden have been at odds over the war in recent months, with the rhetoric from Washington increasing and the pressure mounting for the Israelis to end the conflict. Israel has presented Qatari mediators with a new ceasefire proposal, but Qatar says they need more firm positions from the Israelis.
We have yet to see a very clear position from the Israeli government towards these principles laid out by President Biden, and that would translate to the other side. We are looking now into concrete answers from both sides over their current suggestions, and we're hopeful that we can get them.
Now, Qatar did say the latest proposal from Israel reflects many of the tenets in President Biden's speech given just the other day. But where the president says he still sees disagreement with the Israelis is this. It's what comes next after the war is over. The U.S. is pushing for a roadmap towards a two-state solution, but Israel says they have national security concerns that need to be addressed.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.